This dude is being accused by an absolute 3 out of 10. Look at this goof. Let me look at her page. Here she is burning the American flag.
And I was met with defensiveness and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together.
That's true.
This really upset him, and he managed to make me feel an immense amount of guilt for even accusing him of it. This next segment will be covering physical aggressiveness and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines summer of 2023. I directly told him that this is coercion, and I was met with defensiveness and denial. He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together. This really...
He did the right thing, because here's the thing. So say you were with a liberal girl, which you're stupid for doing anything like that. Say you were with a liberal girlfriend and she sat you down and said, you know, the last 10 times in the last 2 days that we had sex, it was coercion. You coerced me. If she started talking like that, that's dangerous talk to a man. Any man with any sense will be like, yo, maybe we need, if you feel that way, maybe we need to stop this relationship, because I was not under that impression. I was not under the impression that you were being coerced to do anything you don't want to do. If you don't want to do that, and it's such a drag for you to have sex with me, maybe this is not a good relationship. And she worded that as, when he said that maybe we shouldn't be together, that was a threat to her. That itself was a threat to her, saying maybe we shouldn't be in that. Look, listen to what she said.
He even threatened the relationship and said something along the lines of, if you feel that way, then we shouldn't be together.
How is he not right? How is he not right? If you feel that it's borderline SA to ask you, then maybe we shouldn't be together. How does that not make sense? You can do no right as a man, especially as a white man. You can do no right as a man in a relationship with a liberal woman. This is why when I talk to Christian dudes and they done fell into a trap, and you see that girl got some super liberal left-wing tendencies, I'm like, I told you, you get what you get. If you get into a relationship with her and she take everything from you and accuse you of whatever, you get what you get, and I don't feel sorry for you, because I'm telling you not to be in a relationship with this little idiot. She will destroy your life. And look, she's so bold and I'm so brave.
It really upset him, and he managed to make me feel an immense amount of guilt for even accusing him of it. This next segment will be covering physical aggression disguised as play. There were instances
Let me stop that. This next section will be discussing physical aggression disguised as play. Why not just say full RAPE? Because it's not that, and she knows it's not that. But she has to word it in a way where he can still be demonized. He can still be demonized for playing around with your girlfriend. Oh my gosh.
Restraint and assault. He would pin me down with his entire body using both his arms and legs, making it impossible for me to move. He would then dig his hands and very forcefully into my armpits and ribcage to tickle me, which would cause pain.
Are you serious? Dude, every man on the planet who actually loves their girlfriend, excuse me, who actually loves their wife or girlfriend has done this. You can't have a relationship with these women.
Watch your step.
Let them die alone. Dead serious. Let them die alone. Let them be begging to be a part of a man's roster. She doesn't deserve to even be in the presence of a man, because a real man who loves you does stuff like this. You wrestle around, she might hit you and run away. You grab her, throw her in the bed, tickle her. She says, stop, please stop. That's just man and woman play. What do you guys flirt like? What do liberals even flirt like? Hand her a message and the message says, may I flirt with you now? Yes, you may. You look extremely amazing, but not in a sexually arousing way. But with your consent, it might sexually arouse me. That is so great. I wouldn't mind if you were a tad bit sexually aroused right now, because I am thinking of allowing consent between the two of us adults in a cisgendered sex orgy. Oh, that would be great, but not so great that I might coerce you to. I would not like to be coerced, but I will walk upstairs, and immediately after me, you may follow, but do not look at my derriere as we go upstairs, because I did not consent to what your eyes are oogling me with the male gaze. That's what these idiots did. Is that what they think a relationship is like? These people have no idea what a real loving relationship is like. I can tell. They have never been in one. And then they look at other relationships. I just seen a video. Man, I wish I would have found it. Actually, we looked at part of it last week when I was with my boy Mike. But the lady at the end says when she you could tell she was a liberal, a lonely late 30s woman, and she was so upset because when she got around her family and she saw couples loving each other, she felt so jealous. I'm glad you feel jealous. You don't know how to operate with a man. You don't know how to let a man be a man without complaining and believing this feminist nonsense. Everything is evil. Everything is a patriarchy. He can't even hold you down and tickle you without you having a fit and accusing the man of abuse. Stop. This is not abuse.
Very forcefully into my armpits and ribcage to tickle me, which would cause pain. I would repeatedly yell at him to stop and let him know that he was hurting me, yet he would continue. Sometimes this would last for up to 5 minutes. It would reach a point that I would be in such a state of panic that I would have to use an immense amount of force to either kick him off or roll out of his grip.
Wait a second. And this is where I get mad at people, because they always be like, well, you can't victim blame. Yes, I can. So you saying this happened more than once? Because you said sometimes, which implies that it happened multiple times. So after the first time when you were held down and tickled uncontrollably, causing you to wet yourself, right? Because remember when you were a kid, you get tickled so hard that you start peeing on yourself. Maybe that was only me. Maybe it was only me. But when those type of things happen to you, you didn't have the wherewithal, you didn't have the intelligence, you didn't have the strong desire to leave the relationship. You came back. Oh, he was so abusive that after it happened, and it was so traumatic, that you came right back. So you had the strength to kick him off, but you didn't have the strength to leave the house. You didn't tell him immediately, yo, I'm leaving. This is enough of that. That's what I tell men to do. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling a man, if you are in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, even husband, wife, if your woman actually gets mad enough to slap you or physically hurt you, just leave, straight up leave. Don't even worry about calling the police at that moment. Just get out the situation first. You didn't get out the situation. You came back. Oh, really? So brave.
And even if I did escape, he would pin me down again and repeat the whole process. These were always played off as jokes. I was always accused of overreacting when I stated the pain and the discomfort from these incidents. That is only part of my story. That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! The mango face lady's after us! You know, husbands who tickle their wives, the mango face lady, she's gonna get us. Get your thumb face looking self out of here. Nobody is scared of you. Listen, look how she try to, okay, look.
That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots. Because we're not staying silent anymore.
Oh my gosh, look at her. Look at the determination in her face.
That is only part of my story. That wasn't even what hurt me the most. But let it be known that every single abuser on this planet needs to be shaking in their boots. Because we're not staying silent anymore. Oh. My name is Madeline. And I'm
What? What is this woman's problem? Straight up, this is why, you know what, men are leaving the left in droves, and I'm happy about that. Part of the reason they leaving is because the women are so insane. Who want to be around these idiots? This dude is being accused by an absolute 3 out of 10. Look at this goof. Let me look at her page. Here she is burning the American flag. Now listen to I want y'all to hear the audio. Hold on.
What?
Did I say stand there and look stupid? No, I said burn it.
Look at her, the determination in her face. She's so brave as she's burning the same flag that gave her the freedom to even do that. Go to China and burn their flag and see what they would do to your fat, overweight, goofy looking self. And I say fat and overweight because only in America can you have so much privilege and think that you're a victim still. You're overweight, and yet you're burning the country that made freedom to eat, do, play, say, and do everything you want to do available. Look, I should just go through her page. Let's see. This is goofy woman's page. Nothing but typical liberal stuff. I'm sure there's one on here of her dancing like an idiot. Oh, look. What is this? What the heck is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Oh my God. Of course she got cats. Of course. More stuff about cats. All right, let's look at this one. I just read this. Oh, great. My favorite hobby when I'm feeling miserable is to screenshot married men's activity on this app and send it to their wife on Facebook. Oh. So she has nothing better to do with her life than to ruin other people and try to make them as miserable as her because she knows she's a 3 out of 10. I don't even want to look through anymore. She's just you can just tell she's a terrible person. And she lied on that dude, and it's kind of like my whole point in a lot of the nonsense is that kind of irks me is men. Yes, you have to be more responsible to women because they can get away with doing stuff like this to you and making those accusations and nothing will happen to them.